Let's go to the 2019 draft. This was Bosa, Debo, Jalen Hurd, Mitch Wizanowski. We can focus on the top 3 picks.
Yeah, to me, all 4 can be focused on. So the first one, Bosa, to me, was a no-brainer. From where I stood in that draft, to me, it was Bosa, Quinnen Williams, or trade down for Brian Burns. Those were, to me, the only 3 options I looked at.
Option. Yeah, I like that option.
Yep. And the trade down aspect, I mean, I think the Raiders were trying to trade down before they ultimately took Clelin Ferrell because they took him very late in that clock. So to me, it looked like they were going to try to trade down and get a couple more picks and then take Clelin Ferrell, especially because at that point before the draft, if you remember, the big rumor was that the Buffalo Bills were going to try to trade up to the top 5 to get one of the interior defensive linemen, whether it was Ed Oliver or Quinnen Williams, and Ed Oliver fell into their lap at 9, I think. So it kind of worked out perfectly for them. But so to me, Bosa, I understand the injuries, but like Quinnen Williams struggled a lot. His rookie year was terrific last year. Bosa was hurt last year. He was terrific as a rookie. So to me, it's kind of a wash, and I would stick with Nick Bosa. I still believe in Nick Bosa. I think he's special. I mean, when we did our top 10 ranking of the 49ers, I said he's the best player on the 49ers. So I think very highly of Nick Bosa. But the second round pick is where, I mean, I hate to do this because you know who my favorite player in the NFL is.
Debo.
But if we're being totally objective about this, A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf are both better than Debo. And if you want to say scheme fit, right, okay, maybe DK can't do as much of the stuff that Debo does in the screen game and in the run game, but A.J. Brown can. One of the more underrated things about A.J. Brown is that he is a gadget-type player, too. He's very good at jet sweeps. He actually scored a touchdown off an end around, I think, as a rookie. He's really good after the catch. His after-the-catch ability is incredible. The difference is Debo catches the ball 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. A.J. Brown catches the ball 20 yards down the field and then gets 20 yards after the catch.
True.
They both get 20 yards after the catch. It's just Debo's is a 20-yard gain. A.J. Brown's is a 40-yard gain. So that's probably one I look back and say, whew. Then third round.
And most people would have taken A.J. Brown over Debo in that situation. That's the thing.
I think most people had A.J. Brown ranked. I don't know what the teams had. All the pre-draft prognosticators had A.J. Brown ranked higher. DK, a lot of the pre-draft prognosticators messed that up. Though I have a sneaking suspicion that DK Metcalf's neck had more to do with him falling in the draft than his 3-cone time.
Probably.
I think most people in the NFL are smarter than the people who just, look at his 3-cone time. He can't run routes. Like the people like Croc and Chris Sims who really know, they got it. They got it with DK Metcalf. They said he was the best receiver in the draft. They just didn't have access to his medicals and stuff. And I'm inclined to think that more people in the NFL subscribe to their line of thinking than they do the other people who really look at it a little more analytically. But to the third round, it's your guy, Grant.
That's Jalen Hurd. No, that's the guy I really liked was Terry McLaurin. I liked him a lot. I felt like he checked all the boxes, to use a football cliche. He had the height, weight, speed. I mean, he just killed the combine. And then and then at the Senior Bowl, he killed that too. He was good on the one-on-ones, which is what I really look for. Can you win? Can you beat man-to-man coverage? He did it at the Senior Bowl. He was super athletic, and it was obvious that he was playing with a quarterback and in a scheme that wasn't going to feature him much. He wasn't the first Ohio State quarterback that got wide receiver that got that treatment. Michael Thomas as well. So I liked him. The Niners went with the running back comfort.
Right. And the other thing, right, if you look at the Terry McLaurin thing, right, and I think that the reason they also didn't draft Terry McLaurin is because they had Dante Pettis, who you envision to play a similar role as an ex-receiver as what Terry McLaurin is in the NFL. And so the funny thing is if they had drafted Terry McLaurin in the third round and Pettis flopped in camp, they would have never had to trade for Emmanuel Sanders. So crazy how things work out, right? But to me, like Terry McLaurin is a top 15 receiver in the NFL. So like it's tough to say like, ooh, you shouldn't have missed out on that one. And that's where like with Kyle Shanahan, he's supposed to be the receiver guru, and he nailed Ayuk. But sometimes I just have a little bit of a lingering question mark, between Pettis and I love Debo, but Debo versus A.J. Brown and Metcalf, and then Jalen Hurd versus McLaurin. Like, does he get super into one specific trait about a player, and he gets married to that idea of that player within his offense, and maybe he misses the other ones, I don't know, because drafting is a total crapshoot, and you can't really fault anybody for taking Deebo Samuel. He's a hell of a football player. But then the 4th round, Grant, come on. Chauncey
Gardner-Johnson.
Should have been the pick. Never should have traded down. Should have drafted Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He's a hell of a nickel for the New Orleans Saints. He does a lot of the things K'Wan Williams does, but he's a little better in man coverage than K'Wan Williams. And he would have been exactly what the doctor ordered. And the other thing is the Mitch Wizanowski pick to me for a punter in the 4th round is a disappointment. And it's not because he's a bad punter. He's a solid punter. But he's not Michael Dickinson, and he's not Johnny Hecker.
And the thing about punters, you can get solid punters on the street right now. Right now. Guys with NFL experience. You know what I mean? Free agents. You can get them. And maybe Wisnowski's like a fraction better than some guy who was a free agent in 2019. Maybe not, though.
So he's better than Pinion, right? He's better than Pinion. Though Pinion was a better kickoff specialist. One of the things that really pisses me off with Mitch Wizanowski is that Frankenstein leg, because he keeps it fully straight when he kicks the ball off. He doesn't bend his knee.
Yeah.
He cannot kick touchbacks. He takes years off my life. If the 49ers kick the ball off 4 times in a game, those kick returns, because those special teams plays are the ones that, as a fan, like Grant, you would know this time, like from maybe 10, 15 years ago. Think back to your time in fandom when a team scored a special team touchdown against you. You're like, God,
are you kidding me? Yeah, are you kidding me? Did this just
You're giving that up? So that does tick me off. But honestly, Grant, the Mitch Wizanowski pick, like, if you're drafting a punter in the 4th round, I don't even think he's the best punter from his class. The guy New England took in the 5th round out of Stanford is better than him, Bailey.
Yes.
So it's not that Wisnowski's a bad punter, right? He's a pretty good one. But he was drafted to be Michael Dickinson, who's one of the 3 best punters in the NFL. And Wisnowski's not one of the 3 best punters in the NFL.
And he's almost 30.
Wisnowski is not even one of the 3 best punters in his own division.
No, Andy Lee's still better. Andy Lee is still better. Andy Lee, anyway, used to be on the Niners, about 40 years old or whatever. Hell of a punter.
He was the best player on the Niners when I was little.
He was
the best player on the Niners when I was little.
All right, Rams reloaded and Stafford is ready to roll, says at Vish. Rams win the Super Bowl. I'm sending you a Stafford Rams jersey. And Grant, stop comparing Goff to a 2-time Pro Bowl. Stop comparing Goff, a 2-time Pro Bowl quarterback, to the softest quarterback in NFL history, Jittery G. Ooh, Jittery G. Is that what you call him in Ramsville? I think Goff's pretty soft too.
I'll take the Stafford jersey.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll take it.
There was one more, and then we'll move on. Questions coming fast on a Monday. Hold on. All right, here we go. T Money Sacktown says, "Hey, what's up, T Money? Vish, as a Niner fan, would Kyle Williams probably be the Niners fans' most hated player to wear red and gold, or do you have another person?" Ooh, I know who my most hated is.
Who?
What was dude's name? Lawrence Phillips, guy who got ended Steve Young's career. I'll never forgive him for that. 11-year-old Grant was crushed when that happened. Aeneas Williams, when he knocked out Steve, I couldn't take that. That was hard.
Well, Lawrence Phillips, life knocked him out, so life got him back for Steve Young.
That's a good point.
But actually, Kyle Williams, because he was such a nice guy, I guess I didn't hate him as much. Like 11-year-old me, funnily enough, was so upset when that happened. But the 2 guys that I really despised, my dad's least favorite was actually Rashawn Woods, but that's a different story. My least favorite were Chilo Rashal and Kentuan Bonner. Man, I hated those guys as a kid, especially Chilo Rashal. I hated Chilo Rashal.
How about Quam Harris?
Yeah, I didn't like him very much too.
Let me come back to Kyle Williams real quick. The thing with him, I was there at the game. It was a wet, kind of rainy-ish day, and ball security was an issue. Ahmad Bradshaw fumbled.
I know.
I don't think it counted. But
yes, that ticked me off more than the Kyle Williams, to be honest.
There was I think there was a reverse. The Niners fumbled. And then I think it was the 3rd quarter, definitely the second half, Kyle Williams dove for a punt. And I think he caught it. But at that point, I feel like he revealed that the stage was too big for him and he was going to do erratic stuff. He was a backup. Ted Ginn Jr. was the returner all year. He was hurt. So if I were the coach and I saw my backup punt returner diving for punts in the rain in the second half of the NFC Championship game, I would bench him and put River Craycraft in to just let it bounce. Or fair catching. I would have no confidence in that young man on that stage. So I feel like a more attuned head coach would have not let Kyle Shanahan do it once, let alone twice.
Kyle Williams.
Oh, sorry. All right. Anyway,
no, but I agree with that. But where it really ticks me off too is because Brad Seeley was the highest paid special teams coach in the NFL.
That's true.